Hi there, I'm Dan Hunter. Thanks for watching Theatre News.
Dan Hunter, it's
Hello.
great to see you. How are you doing today?
Very well, thank you. Yourself?
Very well, very well.
Good.
Pleasure to be here. You're playing Will in Strangers in Between, which
Yes.
has just transferred to the West End here at Trafalgar Studios too. Exciting times?
Absolutely, yeah. It's the third time we've done the play. We love it. We've invested a lot into it, and I think we all feel like, you know, the work, the play and the production really deserves it, you know. I think we felt that from day one, so we're finally here.
Yeah, it's all very positive, and
Yeah.
another positive move.
100%.
I mean, how has the move impacted on the performance?
We'll see. At the moment, as Stephen mentioned, we've done some slight changes in blocking, but I think that very much improves things. I like the idea of the audience being a lot more immersed. You know, I think the audiences here will have much more of a voyeuristic experience. You know, they're sitting just outside, you know, someone's window watching in, whereas before we were separated a little bit more from the audience, we were elevated, and it'll be really interesting to see how people react to that, because it's a lot of fun, and then, you know, it's very real and confronting at times, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the audience right next to you. Is that sort of quite intimidating at times?
I think it is if you're not completely in it. If you commit to your given circumstances and you're doing you know, you're in the play, and you're focusing on your objectives, and the other people in there, you know, they keep you in it. I think the moment you focus too much on those eyes watching or get self-conscious, I think that's when you sort of, you know, you can spiral out of things. So yeah, stay the course.
Yeah, no distractions.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you're playing Will. What's been the greatest challenge for you during your time?
I play Will. I play another character as well. And they am I allowed to say that, Lou? I play two characters.
Yeah.
Okay. I play two characters, and the contrast between those characters and the similarities between the characters, that's probably been the biggest challenge, because I think from the outside, you know, the aesthetics of them, they're very contrasting, and so getting that difference and that contrast between them, but yeah, they still need to be grounded, you know, in the world that we recognise. They can't be exaggerated. They have to be, you know, as far away as I can get from myself, but still having the audience relate to them and go, well, that's a real human up there, you know. So I think that's been the biggest challenge.
Great. And I mean, the cast remains the same. How's the rapport, the continuing rapport?
Terrible, really, really bad. I think that they've separated Rolly and myself from Stephen in the dressing rooms for good reason. I think we're really, really lucky to be able to find the right people the first time. And as I said before, we invested a lot into this, and these guys love the play just as much as me, and I think it really shows. I mean, that's why we're all here a third time round, and the second time we did it, you know, it felt, I don't know, Stephen likes to say that, you know, it's stewed and it's matured, and it's I'd say that's true, and I like the idea that it will do that again this third time around, that somehow things are a little bit more weighted, a bit more earthed, and things have just matured a little bit.
So does it get easier? I mean, will there be less nerves, more nerves?
I wouldn't say less or more. I mean, I think the idea of performing on a larger platform is a little bit, you know, that makes you a little bit nervous, but that familiarity, that idea that we've done it before, we've done it together, and we'll do it again, and we'll do it justice, I think that sort of reaffirms you, and you sort of, it's going to be all right. At the end of the day, we're not saving lives, you know, so we want to do our best, but you know, we just want to, I don't know, bring a little joy to people, you know, give them a little window into some beautiful moments, and, you know.
Absolutely.
That's it.
How do you warm up personally before a show?
I like to combine both, you know, a sort of physical and a vocal warm up. I think the most important thing for me is just to settle and walk the stage, you know, and just start to live a couple of moments, even if it's just in my mind, you know, from the play, and just start to settle myself in my environment, I think, is the most important thing for me.
I mean, you've appeared in various plays both in London and Sydney. How do the audiences differ?
I think they're relatively similar. I think here in the UK you get a much wider range of audience, which is nice. It's a lot more embedded in the culture here. I think in Sydney, it's probably still perceived as a little bit of a, you know, it's like a bourgeois type experience, which is really sad. I mean, the origins of theatre are or at least modern theatre, are for the working class and for the voice of the voiceless and those sort of things. So it's nice to be able to perform to a large spectrum of audience, whereas in Australia you do see a lot of the same patrons, a lot of the same faces, and it's hard to reach that, you know, that other side of the audience. So in many ways it's been very nice, you know, to come over here and experience that. And then there's a lot of things I miss about, you know, home as well.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you're the co-founder of the independent theatre company Left of Centre. Can you tell us a little bit about that and why you formed it?
Yeah, I think at the time I was really, I mean, you know, I think there's a lot of challenges, you know, for the industry in Australia. It's quite small, and a lot of people complain about the lack of work. And I guess I just wanted to create work. I didn't want to be that sort of person that sat there and complained. It was, you know, let's go out there and let's open more doors and let's create more opportunities. I worked quite a bit as a production manager for a few different theatre companies in Sydney, alongside performing. And it was nice to be able to use those skills, you know, for myself. You know, I'm a creative as well as a practitioner, and it just seemed right to form the company. We didn't do a great deal. I think, you know, I think that's the work that we did was very satisfying, and we really enjoyed that, and we're really proud of it. But I think both myself and Jess Wallace was the other person who formed it with me. We got, you know, sidetracked with other projects with other companies, and it's something I would definitely like to go back to, and directing as well. I quite enjoy, you know, the directing side of things, but I don't know if that will. I think that will have to wait till I go back home. You know, I'm not sure if that's something that I would have the confidence to do here.
Yeah, no, it leads us on to, well, it's good to be proactive.
Yeah,
it leads
absolutely.
us on to, you know, your acting ambitions.
I just want to keep challenging myself. I mean, I don't have a clear image of myself and where I'll end up, but just taking the next challenge that comes along. I feel very at home on stage. You know, that's something I've done a lot of, and the last couple of years I've tried to challenge myself a little bit with screen and things like that, which I enjoy, but I certainly don't feel as at home, you know, in front of a camera as I do on the stage. So as long as I continue challenging myself, I think, you know, I'll be satisfied.
Away from the stage, what do you like getting up to?
A cliche, definitely travel. It's very exciting to come from a place in Australia that is so isolated, to have access to so many different cultures and contrasting cultures, you know, in such a small space. I love food. I love food and booze. I love cooking. So again, you know, that sort of gets tied in with the cultural thing. But yeah, just exploring, different cuisines and things like that is very exciting as well.
Where exactly did you grow up, and when did you discover your passion for acting?
I grew up in a small coastal town on the east coast of Australia. It's about 5 hours north of Sydney, and I think it was quite a surprise to my parents. It's not a part of the world where you'd see a lot of, you know, that sort of thing. We didn't have at the time we didn't have a theatre there. You know, there wasn't a lot of influences, and I think my parents wanted me to get involved in public speaking and things like that, just for general confidence. And I quite enjoyed it, and so I did a bit more. And I don't think they were ever planning on sending me to drama school or anything like that. But a seed, you know, germinated, and I had to continue pursuing it. And obviously I then had to move to Sydney to pursue it properly. But some wonderful years, you know, exploring that. And I think particularly like growing up somewhere isolated, you have an idea of what it is and you pursue that, and then you realise, you know, that the realisation of it is quite different. You know, the exploring it and challenging yourself is a completely different thing to what you thought. But great experience.
Excellent. I mean, do you have any other roles lined up after this?
Not at the moment. I've got all my eggs in the stranger's basket. And I mean, we would love to think that, you know, it has a life beyond this as well. So focusing on this for now. And that's it.
Excellent. Well, thanks a lot for your time. It's been a pleasure.
You're very welcome.
Why should everyone rush down and see Strangers in Between?
It's quite simply, it's just beautiful. You know, it's such a beautiful piece of writing, a beautiful production. Yeah, I think it's very easy to pigeonhole it and say, well, this play is about that and that. You know, I can't relate to that. I can't, you know, get into what's going on. But I would challenge everyone to try and come along and not relate to it in some way. It's a really honest portrayal of humans being humans, and it's great. It's the whole spectrum. It's so much fun at times. It gets very real at times, and I think it's just a great bit of theatre. And of the people that I know that have come and seen it, friends from completely different walks of life, I don't think anyone said a bad thing about it. You know, there are moments that you'll enjoy more than others, but you'll walk away ultimately thinking, wow, that was pretty special.
Excellent. I can't wait for press night.
Yeah.
Anything else? It's been a pleasure. Anything else to say to film news viewers out there?
No, thank you. Come along, and I'll meet you for a beer after the show.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.